Oh my God, man, let it go. Listen, I am so excited you guys are here tonight. What a great evening, a great program. Today's been quite interesting. We had the Best You Expo with Bernardo Moya this entire afternoon. And for those of you that don't know, this is an expo that's going on online, and it's amazing. It really is. And so if you haven't registered already, I want to encourage you guys to register. You still can. All you got to do is go to the Best You Expo and register. I believe it's free, isn't it? Free. There's parts of it that are free, and then there's other parts of it that you got to pay for. But even when you pay for it, it's so cheap. It's like $29 or something like that. But anyway, I can't tell you how we're excited about all of you joining us right now. So we've got a great speaker coming in this evening, wherever you guys are. If you're in the East Coast, it's a little bit later for you guys right now at 9:30. And let's get right to it. So welcome to our podcast. I'm going to go ahead and share this. I think I'm already sharing it with you. Am I not? No? Okay, here we go. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to get with the person who invited you here today. Someone said, hey, you got to listen. Now, if no one did, feel free, go down to number 3, talk to me directly, right? But I want you to talk to the person who invited you, get with them after this episode in the next 30 minutes or so, an hour, and say, hey, listen, I want to make more money now. This is more now than ever. I got to make more money. Number 2 is I agree with John. Oh, bless you. That's Anna. I hope all is well. But bless you, right? Number 2 is how money works. Okay, how does money work? I want to learn how money works, and I'm going to teach you all this different kind of stuff. Okay, but it's important that you actually get with the person and the person who invited you. You guys need to follow up and get connected, right? This is a nice little meet and greet today, but this is just the first stage, okay? Now, here's what I want you to do. Every single Tuesday, I want you to come back and tune in with me, because I go out there and seek different speakers and authors and thought leaders. And, today we have a very, very special guest, and she's on. I believe she's on right now, right? What can I say about her right now? Here is an entrepreneur, okay? Was not born an entrepreneur, started up in entrepreneurship, and today she's got offices all over the country. She's got, let's see, just to give you guys the numbers, she's got 10 offices right now. She's got hundreds of agents. She's developed 13 other brokers that are going out there and doing so she knows how to model herself, right? Because it's about duplication, all right? She's a huge advocate for women and wealth and doing all these different things. Her main central office is up in Ventura County. So if any of you guys are up in the Ventura County area, I want you to go seek this lady out. She is dynamic. What's more important, not only is she very, very good at what she does in business, but the fact that she was able to do that by raising a family too. So women, right, all the ladies, if you're sitting there going, how do you juggle business and how do I juggle, motherhood and family and wifehood and, all those things, she's done it, okay? She's also on the board of educational nonprofit organizations. She serves a lot of different elementary schools. She's gone on to make passive income and has made millions and millions of dollars. So today we're going to hear from this incredible lady, Dana LaGattuta, okay? I'd like all of you guys to follow her on Instagram and on Facebook, but we want to hear her story here, find out how she did it. How did she get to become who she is today? And then we'll do some Q&A where you guys, and I want you to really think about it, because we're going to have about 15 minutes to answer some of your questions, and you'll have the opportunity to do that. Now, down below, I want you to start typing in questions as Dana is speaking over here. Whatever comes to your mind, answer them, and it's first come, first serve. We're not going to be able to answer everyone's question, but it's okay. You can reach out to Dana or reach out to me, and we'd be happy to get you guys connected. But Dana, welcome to our podcast here tonight.
Thank
so
you.
Generous of you. I know you're super busy and there's a lot going on. But Dana, you are no stranger to the stage. You have spoken in front of 40,000 people arenas. You've captured their undivided attention and you rock the arena where people up on their feet. So here's what I want to do real quickly is I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to turn my camera off. I'm going to start taking some notes and let you just take it away.
Well, that is a switch.
Yeah, come on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Dana LaGattuta, let's give her a big round of applause. Come on. All right, show me some love down below. Just do a little high five thing. All right.
Thank you, John. God, really, it's such a switch because he's been my mentor. I hope you guys can hear me. Hope my microphone is working okay. If not, just let me know. But John's been my mentor. And so if you're a guest on this call, my goodness, he's so modest sometimes, right? But he's just such an amazing business leader and entrepreneur and family man. And anytime you can associate with somebody like that and really learn from somebody like that, I say with all due respect, you'd be crazy not to. So I hope that you further that relationship with him. But he's been instrumental in any success that my husband and I have had. He's been the reason I've been on stage addressing 30 and 40,000 people, hopefully making an impact with gum falling out of my mouth. I'm kidding, that didn't happen on that stage, but it happened on a stage. So they say that people are more scared of public speaking than death. Well, I don't think it would ever be as bad for anybody as it was for me the first time with a piece of gum falling out of my mouth in front of the group. So it would never be as bad as that. Just remember that if you're ever on that stage. But I've been given tremendous opportunities and I'm humbled by it. And you know what I often think about and sort of pray about and I'm grateful for is this was not my plan, right? God laughs at plans, and you can't really see everything we've done in the past, how it's prepared us for the future. You don't really see it. You can see it looking back. You can't really see it looking forward, right? Like you were in certain places at certain times for the right reasons. And I think that oftentimes crosses our mind to keep us where we know we should be, but it's tough. And so I oftentimes am just so grateful because there were a lot of times I wanted to quit in business, right? I think a lot of people, the difference is do you or don't you? And the people that you're around, both the team that looks up to you and the team that you look up to, right? The mentors in business and in life, these examples that set the pace and pave the way, really, I just don't want to take that for granted. And I'm extremely grateful that I came into this, to a business and I met John Shin as a mentor in business. And it's just great to see somebody who has made such a strong impact in the community and so much money passively that he can do other things, other passions, and add value and influence. It's just inspiring, right? To me and hopefully to you guys as well. Amazing things are happening right now. And so I think you've heard from many of my mentors on this show. And so I don't know that I'm going to share much more with you than they already have, or that some of you might already know. I'm just going to share with you sort of my heart right now and what I'm going through because it is a transition. It is a complete transformation and it's a battle. It's a battle and that's growth, right? So they say when you're a champion and you're a winner, you're either coming out of the storm, in the storm, or about to go into a storm, right? And that's just sort of something I think we have to accept if we want a better life, right? Mediocrity doesn't come with a whole lot of upfront dilemma, right? Upfront challenge, upfront turmoil. It comes on the back end, and it's much greater turmoil, I would anticipate, that we don't want, right? So we're willing to get in the hunt now and in the fight now. And it's not always easy when you're dealing with pandemics or just social issues, just things around us that are chaos. So my message to you, and I think you've had this before, I hope you have, otherwise you're not around the right people and you're not listening to the right podcast, you're not on the right Zoom meetings if you haven't, but how to win and how to succeed and lead in times of uncertainty. Because boy, let me tell you, even the strongest people, even the strongest community leaders are, and just leaders in general, I don't mean in business. You're a leader if you're raising a family. You're a leader if you're a manager at work. You're a leader if you're building a team. You're a leader if you want to be the go-to person with the people around you and sort of protect them a little bit and lead them into a better life. Then you're a leader. It's not title. And especially it's not title in business necessarily. So here's the deal. I'm going to share a screen in a minute, but I want to quote Albert Einstein. He said, you can't solve a problem at the same level of consciousness in which that problem occurred. So whether or not we were responsible for that problem, like COVID, for example, we're not, we still need to develop a new outlook, a new belief system, new skills, new tools, new wisdom to be able to be better for it. And I'm seeing a lot of people right now really just consumed in the chaos and the negativity of it. And that takes us down a road clearly none of us want to be. And I'm preaching to the choir because you're on this call. But here's the thing. Nobody thinks about a plan B when plan A is going so well, right? Nobody thinks about it. Everyone's just content with contentment, right? Like they're just happy being with things being easy. Okay, I'm going to quote something else that I wake up every day and remind myself of. For me, it's part of the affirmation. I have to remind myself of certain things because I know my weakness. I know where I drift. I know where I get where it's not a good emotional condition for me to be in. I have to be able to get out of it. And this remembering of people brighter than me, more wise than me, history has repeated itself over and over, and we've seen us get to a better place. You rely on those things, and that draws hope and faith and hopefully inspiration to lead. Because so many people are negative and fearful, and that's all the adversary, right? We know that. That's not a good positive feeling for us. So I want to challenge you, can you take full responsibility for this time and for being better for it? And look, you might not be able to change the world, but you can change the world around you. So I oftentimes think of when I'm not at my best, which is a lot, what are my kids seeing right now? How do they feel about this? About COVID, about just the social issues we're seeing and experiencing, and right out in the communities and in these cities, it's scary for them probably, right? So I need to be the calm in the storm. My husband's listening now. I don't think he would define me as that, but that's my hope and prayer, right? We have to de-escalate. We have to diffuse, not fuel and escalate. But boy, if you talk to the wrong person long enough, they will fuel negativity and fear even into the best of us. So we have to have a mind sealed tight from all of that and somehow learn to not be oblivious and naive, but disconnect so that we can focus on forward movement and be better for all of this. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. And when it does, where are we? Because the decisions we make right now during this turmoil are setting us up for greatness or not, right? So I love Zoom. I love these because we can touch more people and reach more people faster. So I want to commend you for being on this call. I'm going to share my screen very quickly, and I just want to share a couple of personal things with you. Nothing crazy, nothing lengthy. Some quotes and some tools that I'm implementing now to become better than I was before, because that is what is required for us to be happier and healthier than we were before, right? Because once COVID passes, and like I said, it will, sorry, that's an incomplete title, so don't write that down. Once this passes, it's very uncertain the social and the economic ramifications or consequences of this pandemic. We don't know how bad it will be. We don't know what's going to happen. We have a lot coming up that's uncertain. So we have to prepare for it all. We have to prepare for it all. And you have to do that for your family, for your team, for your business, for your community. Anybody who will listen, it's time to lead, you guys. Even if we've been sort of among the crowd before and sort of hiding behind the people, right? Not really sticking our head up. Not now. Now's the time to leadership is forged during uncertain times, right? That's us. So commitment breeds weak men. Turmoil breeds strength and innovation. Contentment breeds weak men. Turmoil builds strength and innovation. So I believe that we have all just gotten woken up right now, smacked a little bit, because over my life, I can only speak to my life. Things have been good, right? Things have been good. There hasn't been in my world racism, right? In my world, I have friends of all races and ages and right ethnicities and religions, and there's just diversity and acceptance and understanding. Differences, yes. Stereotypes, yes, but not racism. I've been very content in not experiencing that in my life. Me not being racist and not obviously being discriminated against. So, and if I have, I've been too naive to realize it and don't care. So the other point is we've been very content in a decent economy over the years, and just freedom in this country, right? Security in this country. We've been enjoying the fruits of that, of somebody else's fight. And I think we got lazy as a country a little bit and as people, and enjoying that too much. So I'm not saying contentment isn't good. We want to be content, but we have to be content with the focus forward, right? With the awareness that at any moment, what we do not appreciate could be taken from us. That's what I'm learning now. That's what this quarantine and it has taught me is, look, we indulge in so much. We can't just go do that right now. It teaches us humility a little bit. It teaches us how to be a bit more down to earth, especially our kids. It's amazing to me, my kids, right? God love them. I'm bored, I'm hungry. I'm bored, I'm hungry. I'm like, you have so many things. We have so many kids in the neighborhood, a park down the street, quads, motorcycles, scooters up in your garage. Like, bored? It's taught them how to be a little bit more independent, creative, do different things, get out of a routine and still adjust well. So there's been a lot of value in it, right? So what we don't learn to appreciate would be taken from us. And when it is, we better really learn to shift and adjust. So we don't want to breed weakness by contentment. We want to build strength so we're ready to make this world around us better. Times of adversity and chaos will either define me or improve me, right? Times of chaos will either improve me or define me. I'm choosing to allow it to improve me. Sometimes I just don't know how that looks yet. What appears to be in the way could be the way. I have to remind myself every day, what appears to be in the way could be the way. Take advantage of it. For my business, for our industry in particular, Zoom has absolutely increased our activity, our profitability, our reach to people, teaching them and educating them how to get prepared for post-COVID. Like, that's a big deal. So you look for the diamond, like John said. You can't solve a problem at the same level of consciousness and awareness in which it was caused and created. So I have to develop the skills. I can't rely on my team or my kids or the community to do it. I have to do it. And then I have to go and be influential and be a leader in that and teach other people how to get through this. Because in the absence of real leadership and real good advice, people will listen to anybody who takes a stand. People will listen to anybody who has a voice, even if it's a bad one, even if it's a negative one, even if it's a fearful one, right? We're imposing fear. So if they're not listening to me or to the people trying to de-escalate and diffuse and build hope and positivity into the future, what are they listening to? And we as people, our belief system and how we respond, we control a whole lot more than we realize, right? We can take a stand in those areas. The definition of leadership, the best definition I've seen, is inspiring people to get past their own laziness, fears, apathy, selfishness, and limitations, and encouraging them to be a better version of themselves, something they wouldn't do otherwise. That's leadership. And I think we sometimes dismiss that about us because we define it as something else. All it is encouraging one person to look at something different, to change their thinking and perspective into something that serves them and serves the people around them. And guys, I got to tell you, that does not take much. That does not take much because a lot of people don't stand for anything. So they're very easily influenced. So who's influencing them? Hopefully it's somebody with the right intention, with the right message, with the right business opportunity, right? That's helping them move forward. So here are some leadership principles that I'm trying to live by right now. And again, I imagine all of you are leaders in some way. So just take one or two perhaps that you're not really focused on right now and work on that, shore that up. So I'm a product of 100%. I'm a product of constant awareness and development, right? And when I get stagnant, it becomes extremely obvious, right? External of me. Why do people work so externally, right? They work from the outside in when really it's the inside out. But you have to be aware of that and have a plan for that. You have to have an emotional game plan to withstand, right, the experiences and the adversity. So personal well-being, you guys know what that is. You have to know what your weaknesses are. You have to know what your strengths are. You have to know what triggers you. You have to know what you want to change. Don't get overwhelmed by it. Your strengths are enough. Your strengths are enough. But some of those weaknesses really will hinder you. You got to know what those are and prioritize your focus there. You got to be healthy, right? You got to know who you're around. A lot of what I am paying attention to is who I'm allowing in my ear, because we are fools if we think that everything we listen to we won't buy into, right? Associations are everything. You got to be around people that are talking about the future in a positive way. Otherwise, can you imagine? I have a girl that I work with who is literally right now in a funk. And I remember when September 11th happened, I was so consumed with the news. And I was so consumed with why is this happening? And I was questioning everything around me and I was fearful everywhere I went. That was just not a healthy place. And this girl that I'm working with is experiencing that right now. And it's such a dangerous road to go down. And so you try to compensate there with some positivity and some reality and some reasonability, but she's got to want that, right? She's got to want to inspire herself and she's got to get all those negative thoughts out and reprogram herself. And that's the books you read, the meetings you attend, and the people you're around. So watch your associations right now. Everybody's talking about the negative stuff. If you're around somebody who's speaking negatively, if you're on social media and it's not helping you, stop, disconnect, or turn it positive. Because here's the thing, guys. There are universal truths, universal principles that I don't care who you are, but from a political party standpoint, from a race, all of us have more in common than we have different. And I got to tell you, universal truths like, economic discipline and good stewardship of your money, having a strong family environment and unit, wanting to thrive in this country and have a good economy and send our kids to great schools and have them be great individuals and have them have strong coping mechanisms. Those are things we all have in common, right? So nobody can argue those points. So go to that as leaders. Remind people of that. Don't ever talk on social media about something that can be argued if you're trying to really make change, because people are too quick to defend. You have to be a person of unity, right? Too much division. Everything is divisive. You make a comment, it all of a sudden becomes this political agenda, right? This argument, but it's not really. I'm going to share something with you guys. So the Underground Railroad is a sex trafficking nonprofit, very, very prominent. They're very successful in what they do. And, they have a lot of donors, high-end donors. Well, the CEO of Underground Railroad met with our president, and a lot of people didn't like that. And he met with him to get the word of mouth out about what Underground Railroad was doing. And the next day, the CEO lost about 200 of his most generous donors because he met with Trump. And he went on social media and he said, I'm shocked that because I met with the president, I lost these donors who don't like the president, which tells me that you are okay with sex trafficking as long as our president, how can you be okay with sex trafficking? And how can that even happen? How can you pull your donation because I met with it's crazy. People are unreasonable. The universal principle should be none of us want that. We all agree that that should change, but we're unreasonable today. All you have to be is a voice of reason, guys, and you'll get people's attention. So if you're gonna communicate that way, do it in a way that creates unity and stick to those universal principles that everybody can relate to. Like, again, economic discipline, a plan B, securing your family, saving money, getting out of debt, securing your home, right? Those are important things. Calm in the storm. You have to be the calm in the storm. And it's very difficult to do that when you have a lot of storm around you, right? You can't get shaken up. So that goes back to your well-being, your personal well-being and your associations. I had to call my mentor the other day. I'm like, girl, you got to walk me through how you're managing all of the emotions around you, right? Because they're escalated, and I'm an emotional person. I feed off of that energy very, very easily. It takes me a minute, whereas her, she's quick to shift. So what's not on here, and I want you guys to write down if you're taking notes, is what another leadership principle that's critical is your ability to shift quickly. Your ability to shift and just adjust quickly, right? And be very decisive about that. Zoom is a good example because I'm so bad with technology. And again, it might be easy for some of you. John's mastered it and how to use it for good. And we have two now, but it took a minute, right? Navigate from the inside out, not outside in. So that means change yourself, get clear, be an instrument of change for people, be an agent for change, right? A call to action for people around you, challenge thinking, speak positively, right? From the inside out because you truly believe it. Don't get affected by anything external. Allow nothing external to affect you, quite frankly, right? That's the goal ultimately. Communicate, communicate, communicate. So with your kids who are home, and guys, it's not natural. Don't be very careful. I don't believe. I think the human interaction is so critical. And I think the energy that we have to feed off of one another, and the camaraderie and the intelligence and the discussions and mastermind alliance that comes from other people is such an important part of our lifestyle, of our well-being, of who we are. And to take that away, clearly there's going to be some psychological or emotional issues, and it's happening very fast for people. So you can't do great without that, right? Without that emotional connection. And so communication any way we can is critical, guys. Because again, if they're not listening to us being positive and pouring into them, who are they listening to? And I'm not talking about your teammates necessarily, although I hope that's the case. I'm talking about your kids and your best friend and your parents and the people that are stuck at home perhaps. Look, we are making Jack Daniels the biggest stock on the stock exchange, right? Like, people are going in that direction. A simple phone call and focus and invitation to a meeting, and perhaps taking advantage of what John's offering you, a plan B, gets you excited about something for the future. That distraction is positive and healthy. Without that, guys, the people around us don't get to go in a good direction. I don't want to cross that finish line alone. That's not why I'm in business. That's not why I do what I do. That's not why I'm sharing my heart with you right now. I want everybody that I know, and as many people that will listen, to come with us. That's what I want. Because if we benefit from each other being great, guys, right? It's not I don't want to be selfish about it. I want to have a great life, but I want to do it through helping others have a great life. And that's what John Shin has done, by the way. Be a rock of stability. So when you're a leader, whether it's in your home, in business especially, when things are unstable, right, and the ground is very rocky, people don't feel so good, right? That's not a good feeling. People thrive on security and boundaries and expectations and standards and security. We know that with kids. We know that with pets, right? That there's a submission that has to happen based on those things. And when where there are no boundaries or there is uncertainty, there is chaos. And fear drives us to do silly things, right? So be that rock of stability. Keep things as normal for people as possible. Routine with your kids. Try to get their minds focused on something else. If you have teenagers, man, there's so many things you can do. Even supplement discipline or distant learning with character building and physical education. Like, gosh, if distant learning, I got to tell you, without my kids being in the classroom, listening to the teacher and being focused on the message, the retention of the information is not there for especially my son. But it will be with my daughter too, very easily bored because the topics are not, that great when you're in middle school, I got to tell you. However, you supplement that with, 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, for example, or there's a book for teen girls, a version of How to Win Friends and Influence People. There's so many resources out there to get people thinking, to get kids thinking in the right way. Let's prepare them for post-COVID too. Let's take advantage of distant learning. If they don't have to be in the classroom 6 hours a day, then let's instill some value, something different that the school system doesn't do, although if I had my way, they would, right? Character education, life skills. We have a chance, guys, to do it, right? You have to see the forest through the trees. You have to see the silver lining. You have to see the diamond in the rough. With every adversity comes a seed of equivalent opportunity. If looked for it, there's a lot. I hope it hasn't passed you by. If nothing else, clean out your garage, your closet, right? All those things we said we do that we didn't. Quarantine gave you the gift of time. What have you done with it? What have you done with it? The best thing you can do with it is prepare you and your family for a better life post-COVID. But when things settle, and again, they will, that's the thing. Let's not make decisions for now. Let's not make decisions in crisis mode or from fear. Let's make decisions from a place of where we're going. Let's actually believe that we are going to enter a better place, because we have seen this in the past, you guys. This is history repeating itself, just a little bit stronger because it's in our lifetime, right? It's on our watch. What are we going to do about it? What have we done about it, right? So be the rock of stability. This is not the time to give up offices or back away from the business or minimize communication or allow Zoom to be the only form of communication. Like, we've got to start to push the envelope a little bit to keep people engaged. And we've got to be the rock of stability, right? Especially for the people around us the most. We have to have vision and preparation for what's next. We have to develop the tools and education and wisdom so we can be better for it. So what is it that you don't know that you need to develop to protect your family, to accumulate wealth, to save wealth, to reach your goals? This is an opportunity for us to all pause and be accountable for what we need to do to go to that next level, right? So develop that. There's so many resources out there and so much time we have to get that done. No one thinks of a plan B when plan A is going so well. So I want to challenge you to not let tragedy strike again before you make a move. Make a move in preparation for the tragedy. If this has taught us anything, boy, an emergency fund is darn important, right? If this has taught us anything, getting furloughed or laid off, which is the same as getting fired, right? For the most part, having an income that can support you. Let me tell you something, guys. In the business that John is in, and this is probably true of other businesses too, we have been able to get people hired, trained, profitable, like in Zoom during COVID, in their home. Like, things can happen for you that hasn't happened prior to this, right? So it's all in how we look at it. Contentment is the devil's playground. Don't allow that to happen, right? We got content, we got lazy, we allowed some things to happen, and now we're struggling a little bit, right? We can lead out of it. Adversity and uncertainty sharpens listening. So, and it changes behavior, right? Again, we have been singing the same song. Leadership in any industry has been talking about development and affirmations and business planning and thinking about the future and being an agent of change and adding value to people's lives. I don't care the industry you're in. If you're a leader and if you're an entrepreneur or if you're a professional, those are the principles you understand. And you've tried to probably convey them to teammates and to employees and to clients, and they just haven't listened with the ear they're listening now, right? Because uncertainty sharpens listening and ultimately changes behavior. So we've been singing the same song, guys, right? All of us. I'm not going to say I told you so, but at the end of the day, it's a crusade. It's a lifestyle that we're trying to show people. And now people are a lot more open to it and receptive to it. So if you're ready, you will attract the right people to your core group, to your team, to your associations, right? You will do it if you're saying the right things. John, this is all I have. I thought we could perhaps do some questions and answers, but all I really wanted to share with you guys is these are the things that keep me focused. When you have success in anything, it's very easy to get stagnant and content and comfortable. And that's a dangerous place, right? It says here, contentment is the devil's playground. It's really comfort, right? Comfort is the devil's playground. Because before you know it, right, you're in a position where you should not have gotten so comfortable. So I'm happy to answer any questions, and I hope that that was helpful. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share, because it's helped me quite a bit right now.
Holy smokes, man. Did you guys feel that passion? All the content. Hey, just so you guys know, I was literally sitting here taking notes. You guys are saying, did he really take notes? Yeah, I was. Look, here's my notes. I'm showing you guys. I was typing away, right? Look at all this stuff. Look, I'm taking notes, guys. You know, I'm always learning, man, and how proud I was that, you know, number one, not to toot my own horn, but I go, you guys, I'm not even where I want to be. You know, I still got to grow so much more. Do I say things that I regret later? Yeah. Do I make mistakes in my life? Yeah. Do I, you know, make mistakes? I'm like, oh, I wish I would have never done. Oh, guys, look, don't crucify me, man. I am a human being. Are you with me? And so I'm never going to sit there and go, man, I'm good. I'm where I am. Look how badass I am. No, not a chance. And I am super proud to sit here, guys, and know where Dina was and where she's at today. And it's like, I'm just witnessing someone that has morphed into an amazing businesswoman. Look, I'm taking all these notes, you guys. Look, I'm like, well, should we stop here? No, keep on going, Dana. Hey, guys, can we give her a big round of applause? Seriously, like just high five, do whatever you got to do on the bottom. Let's give her a big round of applause. All right, although I'm the only one who can do it, so I'm going to make it louder for all of you guys. All right, here we go. Yeah, that was super amazing. Like that podcast, oh my God, this is sick, man. So let me just stop this and let's get to some questions here real fast. Let's see. This is from Claudia. She says, what inspires you to get to the next level, Dana? When have you already achieved so much, when you've already achieved so much success? So how do you want to still get to where you want to go?
Well, people like you, Claudia. So people that want to achieve goals, people that are looking to me for an example, for leadership, that want a better lifestyle. I know if I stop, that I'm limiting all of them too. So for me, it's people. Like I want to be a blessing to people around me. Not everybody has that. So if I didn't, it would be about the money and the getting into a better life and my kids having better environment. And because I believe that the house you live in, the neighborhood you live in determines a whole lot of experiences for your kids. We know that, right? So I think the answer to that is I want more options for me and for you, for the people on the team that haven't achieved that success yet. I want to show you what's possible. So I know I have to keep fighting. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Next question is, you are so energetic and powerful. I know you are always on fire. However, when you are down, what would be the instant switch to turn you on?
What I shared with you tonight, I have is on a one-pager, and it's a constant reminder, and I've attached my emotions and my kids and my husband who has supported me and just, right, encouraged me even during difficult times. And I know what we want together. I just can't, that's something I'm unwilling to not achieve. So I have to remind myself that if I didn't have that piece of paper and the pictures to remind myself, I'd go in a funk for quite some time. I tend to do that. I tend to be more of a pessimist than an optimist. My husband is the eternal optimist, which sometimes drove me to be more of a pessimist because I wanted to break him. I'm like, all right, when does this end? Like, how positive are you, right? When do you get negative? And it's just a choice. So for my husband, for my kids, I have a one-pager that reminds me constantly of the things I've shared with you. I'm not always on fire. I'm not always passionate. But when I talk about this, you bet your butt I am. So I have to see it a lot. I have to have it be a mantra for me and a reminder for me of how I live my life every day.
That's awesome. Now there's a bunch of comments here. I mean, everyone just hear this from Brent. or Brett Travis says, awesome presentation, Dana. You're the bomb. Toon Fruchakun just said, thanks, Dana. There's a lot of just amazing energy and passion. Yeah, definitely. Oh, look at this. There is, all right, so I have to ask this one because it comes from somebody. This comes from her husband, everyone.
I thought I just missed it.
All right, so here, the husband is on here and asking questions. All right, this is good. We got to do it. So here's the question from her husband, Frank. He says, how do you control outside distractions like family, friends, teams, drama, and still stay focused on your goals?
Have a husband like Frank.
Oh, well, there you, oh, God, Frank.
Don't stay distracted on those things. Honestly, I will tell you, the one thing about us is I'm easily distracted. He is not. So having a spouse that reminds you of and gets you centered and just helps you understand what the objective is. Look, it's not me against him. It's him and I against everybody else. So a lot of times I have to be reminded of that. So it's the strength of your marriage too that has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if both of you get distracted, boy, right? Both of you are crazy, boy. But if it's just me, my husband grounds me.
And he is an amazing guy too, you guys. Frank LaGattuta. I wish we could have him on this podcast. And I'm glad he's here listening in though. Okay, Dana, let's see. How do you keep your team so fired up? And it's two-part question. It says, how do you approach a teammate who has slumped during COVID and joined the Jack Daniel Club? I'm sure there's a lot of people, Jen, that are turning to their friends Jose and Jack, right? Jose Cuervo from Mexico, right? And the Jack Daniel Club. So that's a great question, Jen. So Dana?
Look, you can't save everybody, and I don't want you to feel like you have to, because we're grown-ups, right? We have to make the right choice. But all you can ask yourself is, have you done all you could, right? Without being distracted, without taking on a project, without, being all the things that you shouldn't be to these individuals. Have you done all you could do? Have you encouraged them to come outside with you? Have you talked to them about their goals and dreams? Have you encouraged them? Have you taken the time to communicate effectively and reminded them of some things? And if you've done that, you guys, it's on them. It's from within, right? That's all you can do. And so here's the second part to that question. You have to be really fired up about where you're going. You have to be selling a dream and a vision of what's going to happen next, and they have to get on board with that. So what are you communicating to people? Is it status quo, same old? Or are you actually seeing this opportunity as the way to get you to your goals and dreams, and your team is going to go with you? So you have to share the vision with them and fire them up with your words and then your actions.
Great. Awesome. Now this one comes from John. I'm not sure if I understand the question, but here it is. Maybe you understand the question better, Dana. It says, you must have been less assertive and effective. When did you change, or how did you change?
It's a good question. I've always been confident and assertive. So I was never, I never had to work too much on that. And I was always very confident. What I had to work on is my mental toughness. So I think to your question, we all have those inadequacies that we really need to work through to be that better version of ourselves. So there's tools to do it. That's what I can tell you. So if it's timid, maybe you're timid, maybe you are uncomfortable with people, there's certain books and tools you can develop and read to get better. For my mental toughness, I've read, oh my gosh, what is it? The Power of Habit. And he talked about trigger points and acknowledgement and pauses and shifting. And boy, those were the tools that helped me change my weakness. So I guess what I'm telling you is there are ways to do it. You just have to figure out what that is. But the question and the awareness is good enough, right? That means that you want to do it. So there's information out there for you and mentorship, right? You have to figure out what that is though.
Great. This one comes from Carla Jimenez. Carla says, how do you balance your professional and family time without feeling guilty when you're spending a lot of time in your business? And I guess spending less time with your children.
Great question. And it's an ongoing battle, but let me tell you, just the fact that you're striving for balance, you'll have better balance. Like just the desire to want to keeps you aware, and you probably have more balance than you think. But here's the best answer I could give you. It's kind of a basic one, but it's true. When you're at home, be at home. When you're with your kids, you're with your kids. Be present in that environment. And when you're at work, go nuts. And the other thing is communication about that with your kids. Like my kids understand, or at least they used to. Now we have a lot more time on our hands, right? Now we're with our kids all the time. So I'm excited to go to the office, right? But when I was building it, yeah, I felt some guilt. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss certain things. But what I know now, like I didn't know then that I wish I did, is the things my kids remember about the business required those times away from the house. They required me to be working, like Hawaii trips or in the office, building relationships. Like the life they have now, they understand came from those sacrifices. And then the other thing is you control the sacrifices, girl. So you can you can decide ahead of time. You can negotiate ahead of time what you're willing to give up and what you're not willing to give up. That way, when it's on the line and you have to make a decision, you're not going to vacillate. And you're not going to let your kids manipulate you either, because you're clear. It was not a decision bred from fear or guilt or emotion. You are very clear on what you're willing to give up. That means you will never, ever sacrifice where you shouldn't. So determine up front. That helped me a lot.
Awesome. All right, next question is, when people are losing money with their investments, which there are a lot of people losing money today, everyone. Yep. And, one of the things about people that have their 401k plans, everyone always thinks that their money, like if a company has a matching program, that's always the best, right? But it's not the best if you're losing all your money, right? And if the investment choices inside the 401k plan are not even performing, then what's so good about the plan, right? And so there's a lot of people like that. And you know what the worst part about 401k plans are? It's like the do-it-yourself. It's like they open up an account for you. You go in, you check off a few boxes, and they go, oh, and here's your investment portfolio. Why don't you choose what you think is the best? You're like, wait a second. I'm just an artist. I'm just, I'm the admin person. I don't know anything about this. And so what did that person do? They start asking people at work who don't know either, right, about their investments, and suddenly they're all losing their money. So the question here comes from a doctor, everybody. It says, Dr. Giulietta Gabbiola says, when people are losing money with their investments, and any form of cognitive reframing you do to reduce people's anxiety, how do you do that?
Okay, great question. Well, I think when people are in fear of losing money, they then lose money, right? They take the loss, they put the money in the mattress or in the bank, and they think that they've somehow, right, saved their money. But at the end of the day, it's a matter of repositioning the money. It's not even anything complicated. There are actual products out there that guarantee that you won't lose money. So we immediately get them into that position. And by the way, with COVID right now, there's a lot of opportunity to do that where it didn't exist before. So if it's suitable and makes sense, let's just take the fear away completely by moving them into a position that's guaranteed. They exist with a high rate of return. So I'm not going to go down that road too much because it's not the platform for that. But here's what I would do. I would fix it. Right? There's resources that will allow them to do that. So it's just a matter of making that change, right? And giving them that peace and that comfort that no matter what happens, they're good to go, right? And teaching them. And also the other thing is about empowering them with education that they can self-govern. That helps a lot too. When they know they can make the right choices, that's important. And then making more money. There's not a financial problem that exists that making more money wouldn't solve. So if they did lose money, let's make it up, right? Let's go earn some more.
Yeah.
Right? And then do the right things with it.
And by the way, as Dina just alluded to, when she's talking about choices, the challenge there is that most people don't even know what the choices are, right? They're like, what are those choices? I didn't even know that there's something called an IUL, right? And I don't have time to get into it today, but if you get with the person who invited you, say, hey, John mentioned something about an IUL. Yeah. So go find out what that is. There's also something called an indexed annuity. And you're going to hear people say, well, I heard annuities are bad or whatever. Well, when did you hear that? 30 years ago, right? I mean, so the things that, it's amazing that people will go and read stuff and talk to people today that heard stuff 30 years ago, right? And so in the old days, I heard people say, don't ever get a cell phone, right? Because the amount it costs per minute is like $7 a minute. Well, today, who pays $7 a minute now, right? I mean, it's like, so everything changes over 30 years. And so, yeah, I mean, in the old days, just so you guys know, when you heard of these indexed annuities, they were bad because they're saying that today. Because in the early 70s or mid 70s, when these annuities occurred, what happened was they were offering guarantees. And they were maybe getting you 3%, 4%, 5% guarantee, but most times wasn't even outpacing inflation. So then what happened is that you gave that money to some financial institution, and then they took that money and invested it somewhere else and made money with the client's money. Well, fast forward today, all of a sudden it's like, well, now that's bad. Are you with me on that, right? But they forget some of the guarantees that they had at that time and the guaranteed income. But today we've evolved, and it's like today I can turn around and say, I think 30-year loans are bad. But that's what we've been selling people in America for the last 200 years. Okay, so do we all say like all mortgages are bad today? No, it's like, what are those options? And you guys, this is what we do. We're trying to educate people what those options are, right? And there is no one size fits all. That's the thing. I wish there was a one size fits all, but it's like, wouldn't it be great if we can just say, hey, just take this pill right here. And if you pop this one, it'll cure everything. Cancer, COVID, heart disease, dementia, you name it. But we don't have that. There's different prescriptions and different drugs depending on what their needs are. And that's what Dana and I both do. You guys, I want to just say thank you to Dana for being here. She's been so generous with all her time. You guys, again, she does have an Instagram. What is your Instagram, Dana, real quickly?
Okay. I'll tell you right now. It is, I know I should know this by heart. Hold on. Just want to make sure I got it right. It was Dana Lags, and my assistant was like, that's not good. So we changed it, which is why I don't know what it is. It is Dana LaGattuta, just my name, no space, no underscore, DanaLaGattuta.
Okay, so there's her name if you guys didn't get it. And follow her on Instagram, and she's got great content always on her Instagram feed. And Dana, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you for being here with us tonight. Thank you so much. Send our love to your family and your husband, Frank.
Yeah, and you with Arlene. Thank you for having me, you guys.
Absolutely. All right.
God bless
Take
you.
care. Bye. Well, there you go, you guys. Dana LaGattuta giving you guys some bombshells right there. So let me just ask you a question. For those of you that are joining us now for the very first time, are you ready to stop making active money and start opening to residual and passive? Because now's the time. There's no better time than now to say, yes, I'm ready for some passive and residual income. And do you guys ever want to know why some people are poor? The word poor, P-O-O-R, is actually an acronym. And that acronym stands for this: passing over opportunities repeatedly, which is what I see people doing all the time. So many opportunities that come right before you and they go, no, I'm good, it's not for me. Well, I think that you really should not pass up this opportunity. Get with the person that invited you. Go to the Department of Unclaimed Property and find out if there's some money there. And then this coming Thursday, join me with a company called AIG with my good friend Brad Sykoff, who is the Divisional Vice President. He is going to be there to talk to you guys about some of the great products that AIG offers today. And so make sure you tune in and learn all about that. And then finally, don't forget, August 7th, Friday night, 7 o'clock, Think and Grow Rich special movie screening. Tune in, listen, watch. Get, if you're in sales, you're in real estate, you're whatever, get your whole office to watch this wherever you're at. And then, of course, this coming Saturday, August 8th, I'm also doing another episode of Shintastic Saturday. Other than that, another big thing on Saturday is the Make That Change Bootcamp. I'm looking for the ones that want some mentoring. All right, so make sure you guys register there today. Again, it's free, no charge. All you got to do is show up to blow up. All right, so I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much, everyone. God bless every single one of you. And next week, don't miss out. We've got a special guest. This guy is dynamic. His name is Toon Fruchakun, who actually tuned in tonight and made a few comments. Make sure you register down below, and you will hear from Toon next week on Tuesday. God bless every single one. Have yourself a fabulous week. Be productive. Continue to social distance. Wear your mask. And be safe. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.